Question number 4, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Economic Development and asks, when he said that gambling-related harm from the SkyCity deal would be mitigated by, quote, negotiated significant additional harm minimisation measures, end quote, did he mean measures additional to those the casino is already obliged to use, and if so, how?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, yes. The government has negotiated a number of significant harm minimisation measures as part of the agreement with SkyCity. These include the introduction of the predictive modelling tool that analyses data to identify players at risk of problem gambling. SkyCity is also being required to implement a voluntary pre-commitment system where players can elect to restrict the amount of time they play or the amount they spend, and this applies to all machines at all times in the casino and will become part of SkyCity's host responsibility program. And they will also have to introduce player identification requirements when amounts over $500 are being put onto or cashed from ticket-in, ticket-out machines in non-restricted areas, as well as, of course, the doubling of the number of host responsibility specialists to deliver 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week coverage in the casino.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
How many of the 13,000 people and 6,500 children that his advisers say will be harmed by this deal will not be harmed due to these supposedly additional measures?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, I reject again today the premise of the member's question because I've reviewed the regulatory impact statement fairly carefully, as you would expect, and it makes it clear that actually being able to determine a level of additional harm is not possible to do. They talk about a hypothesis and it is very difficult to estimate the additional numbers of people who may experience problems, and they also say that putting a precise cost on a potential increase is also difficult.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Will the Minister release all the advice he has received on the social harms of the extra gambling in this deal today, so that when national MPs vote tomorrow, they are fully informed about the extent of the social harms in his bill?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, I will check again, but my understanding is we have released most of the information that we have. There's some more information in regards to the negotiations, which will be released in the next little while. But I think in relation, particularly the key elements in relation to potential harm, those have been released and are also very adequately traversed in the regulatory impact statement.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Will the Minister explain to his colleagues before they vote tomorrow why the New Zealand Police and the Justice Ministry were excluded from the discussions to introduce ticket-in, ticket-out technology throughout the whole casino when his officials knew that those ministries would be concerned about the increased risk of money laundering?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, I'm not sure that the member is correct on that, but certainly it is fair to say that my colleagues in the caucus of the National Party have had plenty of time, partly with assistance from the member, plenty of time to assess their level of support for this particular arrangement, including, of course, the ability to assess whether the 230 machines is an appropriate arrangement to make for a very large convention centre compared to, say, 230 machines for 1/4 of the size under the previous government supported by the Greens.
Point of order, sir.
Point of order, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I seek leave to table an email received by me under OIA dated 16th of the 3rd, 2012 from an official who says, as for Justice and Police, they have obviously not been consulted on the details of the negotiations, but it's accurate to say they would hold concern.
Is there any objection? Appears to be none. It can be tabled.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Isn't it the truth, Minister, that the Minister is frightened of supporting a genuine conscience vote on this bill because he knows that this bill, this deal, is hanging by a one-vote thread?
Honourable order. Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, I'm pretty confident, and I know the government is pretty confident about the votes on this side of the House, but I appreciate there are members on the other side of the House who might like the opportunity to vote for jobs and growth through this bill. I note that the Labor leader, for example, has allowed a conscience vote in this matter, and given the state of the Labor caucus, I expect a few more votes from them.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Is this minister prepared to rule out using a process similar to this for a convention centre in another city?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, I can tell the member that there are no plans at all that I'm aware of in this respect. What he raises is a hypothetical question, and we'd deal with it if it came up at the time, but there has been certainly nothing raised in that regard.
Order. Question number 5, Shane Arden.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.